Welcome to Check This Out, podcast for kids.
And they're grown-ups, where we explore people, places, ponderings, and past moments from history that shape the world around us. My name is Amy Contreras.
And I'm Cece. We are doing an episode on Taylor Swift.
Yes, I love that you didn't even want to do a tee-up. Just get us right into it.
And we have a special guest joining us.
That is right. Cece's friend Haley is here to help us with our episode on Taylor Swift.
Hi, I'm so excited to talk about Taylor Swift and learn more about her.
Now, girls, before we dive in and start talking about Taylor Swift, do you both want to share some things you like about Taylor Swift? Cece, why don't you tell me some of the things you like about Taylor Swift first?
Okay, I really like one of her dresses, and it's because it's purple and it has diamond earrings, and everything matches with her outfit.
Awesome, Cece. Thank you. Now, Haley, why don't you tell us what you like about Taylor Swift?
I just like her music.
Honestly, that's perfect. That's such fun things to know about Taylor Swift. Now, as we get into the episode, we're going to set the stage for talking about Ms. Swift. For example, did you all know that Taylor Swift has been nominated for 58 Grammy Awards?
And she won 14 Grammy Awards.
That is right, Haley. Taylor Swift is one of the world's best-selling musical artists. She had a record 7 albums that surpassed 1 million first-week sales.
Taylor Swift made history with her Eras tour. It was the highest grossing tour of all time.
You are both right, but that doesn't even scratch the surface of the story of Taylor Swift and her legacy on the world of music and beyond. Taylor Swift is the first and only artist to win the Grammy for Album of the Year 4 times. She won for Midnights in 2024, Folklore in 2021, 1989 in 2016, and Fearless in 2010.
She has had 40 wins at the American Music Awards,
which makes her the most awarded artist in the show's history. At the Billboard Music Awards, she has 49 wins, the most of any artist.
Again! Check this out.
Taylor Swift holds several Guinness World Records, too. For having the highest grossing music tour, Taylor's Eras Tour was the highest grossing music tour of all time and the first to make over $1 billion.
That's a good one.
The next one was for the greatest seismic activity caused by a music concert.
What does that mean, Mama?
Well, the Eras Tour at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, on the 22nd to the 23rd of July in 2023, registered what's called seismic activity, which was equivalent to a 2.3 magnitude earthquake. She also has the record for most Music Video of the Year wins at the MTV Music Video Awards. Taylor won her 5th MTV Video Music Awards song for Fortnite, featuring Post Malone, from her album The Tortured Poets Department. She also won for Anti-Hero in 2023, All Too Well, the short film, in 2022, You Need to Calm Down in 2019, and Bad Blood featuring Kendrick Lamar in 2015.
I love Bad Blood. That is one of my favorites.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Another record she holds is for having the most Time Person of the Year titles for a female. Taylor has been named Time Magazine's Person of the Year more times than any other woman.
She actually has 13 Guinness World Records.
Yeah, we're not going to list them all because it's a lot, but these just give you a taste of how incredible Taylor Swift is and the impact she's had through her music.
Just a couple more things about the awards she's won.
Yes, thanks, Haley. We could honestly do a whole podcast just listing the awards Taylor Swift has won, but we're going to do so much more than that. It honestly feels kind of hard to talk about Taylor Swift because she gets talked about so much. So I figured I might test your knowledge about Taylor Swift first with a little quiz, and then we can tell more about her story. Does that work, girls?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with an easy one. Do you know Taylor Swift's birthday?
I do. December 13th, 1989.
Nice, Haley. Great work. You're right. Taylor Swift has shared she's really into numerology. And numerology is a special way of looking at numbers to see if they hold hidden meanings about a person's life, like their personality or their strengths. Think of it like a fun game where you use numbers from your name and birthday to discover cool things about yourself.
She uses the number 13 a lot in her music and the Easter egg she uses.
She sure does. Plus, Taylor Swift loves Easter eggs, which are like special surprises or puzzles she does for her fan. She also even made an album called 1989 because that's the year she was born. Okay, are you guys ready for another question?
Yes.
Okay, here it is. Cece, I'm going to ask you this one. What was Taylor Swift's first hit single?
Tim McGraw.
Yes, ma'am. Nice work, Cece. In 2006, she signed a contract with Big Machine Records and scored her first top 40 hit with Tim McGraw. After that, she released 4 more singles and a self-titled album called Taylor Swift. All right, are we ready for another question? Haley, do you want to ask this one?
Sure. How many songs has Taylor Swift written?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Cece, what do you think?
Over 100?
I mean, that's not wrong. Taylor Swift is credited as a writer or co-writer on every original song she's released, which is over 250 songs. She has sole writing credits on 67 of those songs, which means she wrote the song all by herself.
Taylor Swift had been writing songs since she was only 10 years old. That isn't much older than us, Cece.
Now, girls, did you know there's a museum about Taylor Swift?
What? Where?
Well, a part of a museum is dedicated to her. In Nashville, Tennessee, at the Country Music Hall of Fame, there's a whole display about Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour. Speaking of the Eras Tour, do you know where the Eras Tour's first location was?
Nope.
Cece, what about you?
Definitely not. Why do you think my mind is?
The opening night of the Eras Tour was in Glendale, Arizona. And want to know something cool?
What, Mama?
I was there at opening night.
OMG, tell us everything.
Well, I'm really glad I got to go with Cece's Aunt Bunny and a few of my friends. We went on the first night, so we had no idea what to expect. And then we had 3 hours of amazing performances. It was the best concert I have ever been to in my life.
I'm so jealous.
Want to know some other cool stuff about the Eras Tour?
Sure.
Taylor began training 6 months ahead of the first show for the Eras Tour. She would run on the treadmill, singing the entire set list out loud to get ready for the tour. And the Eras Tour was record-breaking, as we heard earlier. When Eras kicked off in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor made more money for the local businesses than the 2023 Super Bowl, which was held in the same stadium.
I love that.
Okay, let's do another question.
I have one. How many cats does Taylor Swift have?
Great question. She has 3. Do you want to know what their names are?
What?
Their names are Meredith Grey, Olivia Benson, and Benjamin Button. That was fun, but I think we should do a little overview of Taylor Swift's life and why she's a musician we are talking about on the Check This Out podcast. Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people in the world, and she's one of the best-selling musicians of all time. Plus, she just released her 12th studio album.
The Life of a Showgirl.
You got it, Haley. Taylor Swift was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania.
Her mom is Andrea, and her dad is Scott. And her brother is Austin, and I don't know what her dog's name is, but I know she has a dog.
No, she doesn't have a dog. She has cats, remember?
No, when she was little.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, Taylor Swift, speaking of when Taylor Swift was little, her first major performance was singing the Star-Spangled Banner as an 11-year-old at a Philadelphia 76ers basketball game, which was in front of a crowd of thousands. When she was 13 years old, her parents sold their family farm in Pennsylvania and moved to Hendersonville, Tennessee, so she could pursue a career in country music in Nashville. When she was 14, she signed a deal with Sony ATV as a songwriter in 2004.
Taylor Swift started singing country music.
Yeah, one of the most amazing things about Taylor Swift is how she's changed her sound and style of music over the years. She's constantly reinventing herself and the type of music she makes.
Check this out.
Before Taylor Swift was doing sold out tours like the Eras tour, she actually opened for a bunch of famous artists as she was getting famous.
Wait, I have one question just for 1 second.
Sure.
So my question is that back when she was like 13, 10, anything like that, I thought her friends hated her country music. She was the only girl in her school that liked country music. All of her friends thought it was weird. But like who, Mama?
Yeah, so honey, you're right. That's a story that Taylor's told us, that people were kind of mean to her as she was becoming famous. So that's a good point, because as we talk about how she became famous, she had to stand up to a lot of people who didn't believe in her. So I'm really glad you asked that question.
You're welcome.
But now we're getting back to her opening for people. You asked about who she opened for. She opened for bands like Rascal Flatts and people like George Strait, Brad Paisley, and Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. She also opened for Keith Urban on his 2009 tour before headlining her own tour, starting with the Fearless Tour later in 2009.
Wow, that's a lot.
Now, how many of the Taylor Swift of albums do you guys know?
Taylor Swift and Fearless. Speak Now and Red. 1989 and Reputation. Lover, Folklore, and Evermore. Midnight's The Tortured Poets Department. Life of a Showgirl.
You guys nailed it, but something's missing.
What?
We didn't talk about the Taylor's versions of these albums. Taylor Swift has created so much amazing music, but the music industry makes it hard for artists to own their own music because it requires producers and money to make and market albums. Taylor's always written her own music and worked closely with producers, but especially early in her career, she didn't have the ability to own her own music. A company she worked with in the past called Big Machine sold her music to a man named Scooter Braun, a person who she did not have a good relationship with.
She was devastated.
You're right, Cece. Without getting into all the logistics, Taylor was in a spot where she couldn't own her own music that she had made.
That is so unfair.
Well, it's a good thing Taylor Swift is a really smart lady. Starting in 2001, she began re-recording her music so that she would own it. Taylor's version is now on any songs or albums that she re-recorded so her music would belong to her.
But there was good news. In 2025, she was able to buy all her masters back.
Yes, it was a big deal. It was a long battle, and Taylor had to fight really hard. But she now owns all of her masters, including the albums she re-recorded and songs from the vault that she released along the way. People like to talk about Taylor Swift's personal life a lot because she uses her personal life as inspiration for her music. Over the years, people have had a lot to say about her boyfriends and her friendships.
She is now engaged to a football player, Travis Kelce.
Taylor Swift is only 35 years old, and she's already accomplished so much. She's broken records, traveled around the world, created hundreds of songs, masterminded fun Easter eggs, and became an inspiration to people around the world. Girls, before we wrap up with a poem, what else do you think we should tell our listeners about Taylor Swift? Anything you want to add?
Yes, please. So when Taylor Swift was young, she always loved the season December. December is when she always got to go sledding in the snow. She always got to use snow angels.
Yeah, because she grew up in Pennsylvania where it was cold and her family owned a Christmas tree farm, right?
Yeah, but also a bunch of bugs had to get in their food in their farmyard. She would pick prime mantis egg pods off trees.
Yeah, got to keep those trees healthy for the Christmas tree farm, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, now here's a poem to wrap up our episode on Taylor Swift. A shining star with a voice so strong, her music makes people feel like they belong. She takes the stage and stands up for what's right. She's figured out how to shine in the spotlight. From early days and country beats, Taylor Swift shows she can take the heat. Her lyrics are catchy, her songs make us sing, and now she's got on a football player's ring. We hope that she continues to rise and keeps making an impact before our eyes. Thanks for listening to another episode of Check This Out.
Our sources for this week's episode were Grammys, the Guinness Book of World Records, Encyclopedia Britannica, the Country Music Hall of Fame, Biography.com, and Time Magazine.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Cece and Haley. Great work. We'll see you next episode.
You're welcome.